there's a quarterback competition brewing with the Alabama Crimson Tide, and head coach Nick Saban has declared it basically an open competition between Blake Sims and Jacob Coker. And this is coming after a near upset scare in Week 1 against West Virginia, where Blake Sims, he did okay. He did fairly well, 24 of 33, 250 yards and 1 interception, and he burned some timeouts because he couldn't call the plays in time. So there were some mistakes. He missed some open receivers down the field. But all in all, he got the win, and a win's a win as far as most people are concerned. But in Week 2, heading into Week 2 against Florida Atlantic, all indications from Nick Saban is that both quarterbacks will play, and he doesn't really know how or when he's going to implement both quarterbacks. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think this is a horrible decision by Nick Saban. First of all, that's what training camp is for. You have to decide who your quarterback is in training camp. And basically, if it's Blake Sims, fine. If it's Coker, fine. But to say that it's kind of like you haven't even made a decision yet, and you have one game, you're one game into the season. Now, of course, going into Week 2 against Florida Atlantic, I'm sure that barring a miracle on the part of Florida Atlantic, the Crimson Tide will roll up on these guys by at least 35 points. It's going to be a blowout no matter what they do, no matter what the Crimson Tide, whoever their quarterback is, in this particular game, I don't think it'll matter. So it seems like Nick Saban is treating this game as though it were a preseason game, but even though it's pretty much a guarantee that Alabama will win this, it's setting a bad precedent, and it's setting a negative atmosphere in a team concept, in my opinion, because when you jerk a quarterback in and out of the starting lineup, it's unlike any other position in sports or in football, or when you think about the 100 plus years that football has existed, how many teams can you name me that have had two quarterbacks coming in and out of the lineup, and that team was actually a successful team? Now, if a quarterback gets injured, whatever, then you obviously have to put the next guy in. Or if the guy is completely inept and you've completely lost all type of faith in his abilities, then you bench him, and I have no problem with that either. But to say that, both of these guys are healthy, both of them are capable, I believe in both of them, so I'm going to put both of them in, I think that's really doing a disservice to the whole team. And also, when you look at the resumes of each player, Sims was a career backup. Coker is a career backup at Florida State, though. But the point is, both of these quarterbacks have very limited playing experience, and now you're asking them to look over their shoulder to see, am I coming out of the game? Like, what's going on? These aren't established players. They're both, career backups. Sims a senior, Coker's a junior, but even though they're upperclassmen, they have very little playing experience, and now you're throwing another curveball. Not only do they have to get acclimated to the system and learn how to be a starting quarterback or what have you, now you're throwing something else at them, and you got to believe that as a college athlete, it must be playing mind games on these guys. Does coach believe in me? I don't know. I mean, he started Sims last week, so maybe he doesn't believe in me. And then if you're Sims, you're like, well, I started and I won, and now he's going to take playing time away from me? I guess he doesn't believe in me either. So both of these quarterbacks, their confidence and their belief in themselves must possibly be on the fence right now, because Nick Saban hasn't decided one way or the other who he's going to go with. So, that's basically all I have to say about that. It won't come back to bite them, Alabama I'm talking about. It won't come back to bite them this week. They're going to probably beat on Florida Atlantic pretty severely, but going forward, this is really not a good situation, and I think this is probably one of the worst coaching decisions that Nick Saban's made on the field in his coaching career. But comment, subscribe, tell me what you think about this quarterback controversy that's going on with the Crimson Tide. I want to hear what you guys got to say. That's all that I've got to say for now. It's Football Rob signing off.